close this position, but I just wanted to show before and after. So give me a second. So hold on. All right. So again, this is my channel, my Discord channel, and again we just help people trade. But this is my before and after. Okay, so this is the before I got into the trade, or this was shortly after I got into the trade. As you can see, I'm not risking much, and my TP is all the way up here. All right. I didn't even have a TP set, but I just had a position and my stop loss was defined because that's the most important thing to me is how much risk you got defined, how much are you putting up on the table before anything. That's the only thing that really matters, and then comes your TP. But I like to just put my stop loss and sort of let my trades run because you don't know how far it's gonna go. But I was looking to get out of this position around here, but as you can see, this is my before and after. And this is after the trade. This is like immediately after I got up. I got up, checked the trade, and I was like, damn. Right? And so this is all it really takes. Right? It just takes having a plan, having a system, and following your rules. Right? And this is not to focus on outcome, but this is the direct opposite. This is what happens when you don't focus on outcome. This is what happens when you just let your system play out. You follow your rules, and you you don't you're not system hopping, you're not doing a bunch of crazy stuff, right? You're just letting your trades play out, and it goes very 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 heavily into overall psychology, um what you have going on in your daily life. um it could be a lot to do with anxiety, just a bunch of other things, but my last video was trading isn't about money, and it really isn't, right? Like, we all get into it because we want to make money, right? And that's obviously, like, that's legit. That's a legit reason to do anything, because you want to make money. But when you get into it, right, and a lot of these gurus, they sort of, especially when you're a beginner, they they just shower you with outcome. They don't really show you, or they can't really tell you what it would take for you to really get to a certain level in your trading to consistently repeat a thing over and over and over and over and over again, because it's not as much as to do with the strategy as much as it is to do with you. And so I think that's a hard thing for people to accept, and even was for me to accept. It was like, in the beginning when I was starting out, I was like, okay, like, it was really simple. I learned the strategy, I learned what support and resistance was, I learned, how to look at the markets. It was fairly simple. But then as time went on, even though it was so simple, it was like the simplicity was almost working against me because I was trying to make everything so complicated. And because I was trying to make everything so complicated, it just it just turned trading from it being trading turned from it being simple. You gotta excuse me, guys. I literally just woke up. But trading turned from being simple into, it has to be complicated for it to work, and that's just not the case. It's just not the case at all. Trading is not supposed to be complicated. It's supposed to be extremely simple, extremely it doesn't have to be easy because it's not easy, but it's very very simple. It's a simple thing. And again, the hardest thing about trading is you. It's literally you. It's the self control. It's the it's all the it's catching all those losses and still trying to believe that you can do it. And so, yeah, I truly do believe that that's like some of the hardest thing about trading is genuine self control, because a lot of us don't really have that. It's easy for us to say trading doesn't work. It's easy for us to fall into the bad habits in trading. It's extremely easy for us to just do anything in trading and not stick to our plan because we don't understand what it actually takes at first, what it takes to follow your system. At first, you don't really even understand the repercussions for not following your system. And so I would say if you're a beginner, right, you're getting into this space, be very intentional, right, about this, right? Plan to take it very, 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 very seriously. Um, Plan to be in it longer than you plan for it to take longer than you thought it would. Maybe it won't, but plan for it to take genuinely longer than you thought it would. I'm definitely thought it would take. I definitely didn't think it would take this long. I thought I would, get trading in 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. And you might get it into a year or two. You might understand that those concepts in a year or two, but then it's not about how well you understand. It's just, can you repeatedly do this thing over and over and over and over and over again? Can When you picture your trades in your mind, do they all look the same? You know? And so if I were to give this video a name, right, it would just to be, don't focus on outcome. Something like that, right? Just don't focus on outcome. Just focus on execution every single time. And I did this in my last video when I went on YouTube, right? And I showed like the YouTube guru trader slop, and it's just terrible. Let me just show you. Let me just show this, right? So like if I were to look up day trading, right? Like you're just gonna see all of this like guru slop, okay? It's just pure guru slop. And like a lot of this, I'm sure there's great information in here. You know, I'm in trading isn't he's pretty decent. He dives a lot into what it actually takes. But a lot of these guys like this, it's just not. Like, look at this, 15 hours ago, and who is this guy, right? A lot of these guys are just trying to sell you a course, and it's just a very predatory space, trading. You got guys like Juvier Gems, you know, making $20,000 in a day. Like these people, like look at what they focus on. Like it's just a very predatory sort of like degen space, and you have all of these people trying to basically sell you a dream. None of these, most of these, 99, I would say 95 to 90% of these, after trading for around 5 to 6 years, I would say that 95% of these influencers or YouTubers are bullshit. They're all bullshit. Literally, they're all bullshit. There is some valuable information in there, but what they try to do is reel you into their course so that you can buy their course, and then they take the money that and they gamble it, because they're not actually trading for real, and they didn't actually get to be where they're at from trading. I'm sure there's a few of them in here, that actually did, but a lot of these guys, they're just trying to sell something, and that's what kind of makes trading harder than it needs to be too. Is because when you're starting out, you're getting sold a dream, you're getting sold a strategy, you're getting sold something. You're getting sold a belief. You're getting sold that, hey, you can make five, six, $700 a day. You can make 5K a week, make 10K a week, make 20K a day, and they don't talk about the other side, what it actually takes to do that. And what it actually takes is forgetting about the money entirely. Even though, yes, we know you got into this for the money. Yes, we know. But stop focusing on it. Just stop. As a matter of fact, take it out of your mind completely. Just don't even focus on it. Instead, focus on whatever strategy you came across, right? Figure out if it works for you. Figure out if that strategy, if you can repeat that strategy, build off of that strategy, refine it, and after a while, you'll notice something. You know, either it's working or it's not, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Can you execute your strategy? Not can you make $500 in a day? Can you make $1,000 in a day? Can you make 10? Trust me, starting out, you might hit one time, but that's not what trading is about. Trading is about consistently repeating an execution over and over and over and over and over again, and having to find stop loss and take profit. That's it. So yeah, I've been trading for 5 to 6 years. Okay, I own a Discord, and that's it. I don't. I'm not selling anything. I'm just helping people. Like I'm memeing too. Like I meme. Guys, like, come on, like, on me. Right. But this isn't a video on like buy my course or anything like that. It's the complete opposite. I would say if you're trying to learn how to trade, find a community. Don't find a course. Find a community of people that are either A, actively learning, and there are profitable people in there, and there are people who understand the game, um, or B, people who are already profitable, and they're just, I don't know, you're really not gonna find that a lot in this space because a lot of their profitable traders, they don't want to be seen. Um, and the ones that are in this space and do want to be seen, they're mainly just trying to share psychological standpoints because that's what is most important, not some strategy. Strategies. There's millions of strategies, billions of strategies out here. For every dollar, there's a strategy. Okay, for every dollar that exists, there's a strategy. And so, yeah, you know, don't worry about strategies that much. Worry about executing whatever system that you have to the best of your abilities and keep refining that. And that's all that matters. That's literally all that matters. Okay, so like I was saying in the last video, this is a great like talking point or psychological sort of framework or mindset. This is a great trader mindset. Basically, it's I think I said it's not about the outcome of your decisions in trading. It's about how well you were following what you said you were going to do, and that's you know that's all it is. You know, so if you take a loss and you're trading, don't take it personal. Um, just move on to the next trade. Move on to the next level. Move on to the next, whatever it is. Keep trading simple. Keep it extremely simple. Keep it grossly simple. Keep it so simple to the point where it's boring. Like look at my chart. There's there's not much here. There's some lines, you know, but that's it. It's genuinely not much here. And you don't need a lot to get profitable. You genuinely don't. You just need a decent system. You just need to follow your edge. And that's it. Take it from somebody who's been trading for 5 to 6 years. Just take it from me. Okay. Yeah. So that's it.